For a mutant without time-traveling powers, the chronology of Wolverine's life in the X-Men movies is complicated to say the very least. Claws out, everyone, let's make sense of Logan's timeline. Spoilers ahead, of course. Wolverine's story begins in 1845 when Logan manifests his mutant powers for the first time, straight into his dad's chest. He and his half-brother Victor, who eventually becomes Sabretooth, spend the next century traveling the world and using their powers to rack up a serious body count in several major American wars, including the Civil War and both World Wars. Logan becomes imprisoned in a Japanese POW camp near Nagasaki at the tail end of World War II. There, he saves the life of Ichiro Yoshida, an officer in the Japanese army. Cut to 1962 when Logan crosses paths with Charles Xavier and Eric Lehnsherr, who try to recruit him to the X-Men. He turns them down with his signature eloquence.
Go f*** yourself.
So it's a hard pass for now. During the Vietnam War, Logan first crosses paths with Colonel William Stryker, who recruits him and Victor to a covert mutant task force called Team X. Logan leaves the team after becoming disillusioned with their methods. But Stryker isn't that easily refused. 6 years later, after the staged death of his lover Kayla Silverfox, who's actually an agent of Stryker's, Logan returns to the Weapon X facility. He submits to Stryker's adamantium bonding process, and the Wolverine is born. Logan escapes Stryker's facility when he realizes he wants to use him as a brainwashed weapon. He suffers complete memory loss after Stryker fires 2 adamantium bullets into his brain. After decades of wandering, Logan encounters the X-Men again. This time, he accepts Xavier's offer to join the team. After defeating Magneto, Logan travels to Canada to discover the secrets of his past. Stryker, still trying to weaponize mutants, invades the Xavier Institute and kidnaps a number of students. Logan, along with the remaining X-Men and Magneto's Brotherhood, hunts Stryker down and stops him once and for all. Wolverine and the X-Men again face off against Magneto and the Brotherhood. He's forced to kill Jean Grey, the woman he loves, to prevent her Dark Phoenix powers from raging out of control. Plagued by guilt, Logan spends the next decade hiding in the wilderness until he's brought back out into the world to help, and then fight his old friend from World War II, Ichiro Yoshida. He loses his adamantium claws in the process. 2 years later, he is once again recruited by Xavier and Magneto to the X-Men to deal with the danger posed by Trask Industries and their experimental Sentinel program. How the heck is Xavier alive after being blown to smithereens by Jean Grey in The Last Stand?
You're not the only one with gifts.
Yep, that's all they gave us. Fast forward a decade. Logan and the few remaining free mutants are fighting for survival in a world ruled by Bolivar Trask Sentinels. To save the present, Kitty Pryde transports Logan's mind into the body of his younger self in 1973. There, Logan Prime, as we'll call him, is able to help prevent Mystique from killing Trask, the event which set into motion the expansion of the Sentinel program, thus changing the future. Logan Prime's mind leaves the younger Logan's body at the bottom of the Potomac River. We'll get back to Logan Prime in just a moment, but for now, let's follow young Logan. He's soon recovered by Mystique, who's masquerading as Colonel Stryker. The films have left young Logan's journey from here on a little vague, so we're going to veer into theory territory. At some point after being recovered by Mystique, young Logan becomes a prisoner of the real Colonel Stryker and is subjected to the Weapon X program. In 1983, he's set free by the X-Men. Young Jean Grey restores some of his lost memories as he escapes. Meanwhile, the Essex Corporation is busy trying to clone Wolverine. Logan Prime's mind catches up to the body of his younger self, who eventually found his way back to the X-Men after escaping Stryker's facility in 1983.
I think the history I know is a little different.
Welcome back.
To his surprise, Jean Grey and Cyclops are alive in this new reality. At some point in the early 21st century, the world again takes a dark turn for mutant kind. An aging Logan is traveling with an ailing Charles Xavier as both struggle with the weakening of their powers. Logan is called back into action when he encounters a young girl named Laura on the run from Sinister Corporation Transigen. This new time period is intentionally ambiguous, with director James Mangold simply saying it is past the point of the epilogue of Days of Future Past. But if the comics have taught us anything about the X-Men, it's that their future is always in flux. For more on Wolverine and the ever-changing universe of the X-Men, keep it here on IGN.